Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to the Hot Rod Workshop. Today, we're gonna head back to Allentown for Vintage Drags Part 2. But before we go, let's go take a look at how the Roadster pickup's coming along. So I was hoping by now that the price of steel would have gone down a little bit, but it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. So I kind of had to bite the bullet and buy some steel to finally start making some progress on this thing. The last we spoke about the body, the doors were just kind of sitting in place. So I have the doors tacked in place. Once I removed the return from the cowl that was there originally, the cowl was able to kind of do whatever we needed it to do to match the shape of the door. So that worked out pretty well. I got both doors figured out, got them square as best I could. And then I started going down the road of making these rocker panels. This side worked out pretty well. The other side was a bit of a headache, but I was able to, make ends meet with that. And from there, I was kind of, biting my lip a little bit, not sure if everything was going to be square considering the shape of the body to a Model A frame. So the basic plan here is to follow the dimensions of a run-of-the-mill Model A, like 3031 Roadster pickup. So the cowl was shortened 6 inches side to side. So that cowl is about the shape of like a 3031 cowl. So in the quest of putting the doors in and getting the rocker panels square up with the door, I just kind of went with a level, just kept checking my measurements and got them tacked in place. I still haven't, able to adjust a little bit. Once I got to that place, I was able to put it up on these 2x4s or 2x1s, whatever this is. And believe it or not, I'm actually floored how square it ended up being. Usually in situations like this, the best idea is to kite frame your way piece by piece to make sure everything, so you're not dealing with a wet noodle the whole time you're working. But for the sake of saving time and money and then, doing the best we can with the tooling and the funding that we have, I was able to make it pretty decently square with the doors to the cowl to the rockers, and everything making sense to the frame. So, but I think where we're at right now is the best plan of attack would be to kite frame at this point to make everything as stout as possible before we continue. But once we get past that point and everything is pretty square and, like I said, not a wet noodle, then we can start continuing from the, I guess you could say the B pillar, not really a pillar, but so from there we can continue from the end of the door. I think I'm gonna go out about 12 inches and make a slight 45 return to match up with the rear tub. So it's gonna have to be all pretty much handmade. I was hoping I could use some of the sheet metal that I had, the original sheet metal from the touring body, but as anybody knows that has tried to work with touring body sheet metal, the car was super wide in the back end in relation to the front. So to try and make it work in a Roadster scenario like this is difficult. The amount of cutting and welding that needs to take place, plus the fact that, that body was in pretty rough shape. These doors aren't really that great, but I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation. So that being said, the best plan, I think, is to pretty much make the back half by hand. Little by little, piece by piece, and try my best not to waste as much sheet metal as possible, because I'm pretty sure the price of steel is up somewhere near 60%. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere from there anytime soon. So, trying to make the best of what we got. Trying to take my time, do my homework, write everything down, go through it 30 times, try not to change my mind in the process, which is difficult in and of itself. And we'll go from there. So it's coming together. It's got a very unique shape, I think. Still gonna stick with the Roadster pickup kind of situation, and just kind of feel it out and see how it goes. I'm gonna have a slight kick up in the rear and the body, like a a traditional T body would have. But it ought to be interesting. I'm kind of just feeling it out as we go. I have a general idea of what I'm looking for, but we'll see. It ought to be interesting. But for now, let's go fire up the coupe. Let's head on over to Allentown and have some fun. right back from Allentown. Check it out, class winner, V8 class. So once again, just like before, I'd like to thank EJ Kowalski and his family for putting on such a great event. If you get the opportunity to check out any of the Vintage Eliminator events, I really recommend it. It's so much fun. Even better if you can get a car in. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the end of the events for 2021. It was an excellent year considering what we were facing last year. But now I think it's time to put some time and effort into the Roadster, try to make some progress on that, some other small projects here and there. But until then, thanks for watching.